Hi, I'm Eric Siegel. A few days ago I uploaded a video to YouTube that was a tour of my O-gauge layout that you see behind me. One of the responses that I got was from someone who wanted to know how you would run an engine that's using Lionel's TMCC command system through the MTH DCS control system. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do right now. This is the heart of my layout, the command center for everything. On the bottom there is the MTH DCS TIU interface that controls the MTH strains. On the top is the Lionel TMCC command base. Basically, what happens is the TMCC command base is connected to the DCS TIU via this cable here. It comes out of the TMCC interface and goes into this PC input plug on the TIU. And that's how the TIU talks to the TMCC command base and controls your Lionel trains. It's really quite simple. This is a special cable. It's not just a 9-pin serial cable like you might think. It's a special cable that's made just for this. It's available through MTH. You can contact an MTH dealer or go to www.mthtrains.com and learn more about it. In addition to the control cable that goes from the TMCC to the DCS unit, the other thing you have to do is you have to connect the TMCC to the track ground. Right here on the TMCC command base, you'll see there's a nut here that's for track ground, and this goes to the ground of every track on my layout. If we come around to the output side of the TIU, you can see here's the TMCC wire that comes out of the TMCC command base, and it's jumpered to each ground on each track that I'm running. Once you've done all the wiring work that I just showed you, and you've got the TMCC interface connected to the TIU interface, the next step is the fun part, which is programming this engine and then running it. The first step in programming it is to make sure there's no power to the track, and lift the engine up, and you'll see here there's a switch that's labeled Run Program. You want to make sure this switch is in the program setting, like that. Once you've done that, set the engine back on the track and give it some power. On the MTH remote here, I'm going to press the engine button until I see Setup. I'm going to go to Setup. I'm going to go to Add Engine, Add TMCC Engine. Now it's going to ask me to name the engine. You can name the engine anything you want. Just to be brief here, I'm going to name this engine UP. You scroll to the letter you want, you press the thumb wheel to select the letter, like that. If you've used the DCS system before, you're very familiar with this. Once you're done, you're going to go to the D, which means done, and you're going to hit the scroll wheel. I should say that you can name the engine anything you want, like I said, but if you ever want to change the name, you can do that too. It's no big deal. This next menu is going to ask me to select the TMCC address. As I said, these engines come with a default setting of 1, so I'm going to choose 1, and now it says it's added the engine. So this engine is ready to run, but before we do that, we need to turn the power off and put the Run Program switch back into Run. Since I already know where that switch is, I really don't need to take it off the track. I can just take this little pin and throw the switch over. Give it some power again. And on the DCS remote, I'm going to go to my engine list. And by default, when you add a TMCC engine into the DCS system, it's in the inactive engine list. So you scroll down to the inactive engine list, and there's UP, the one I just added. I'm going to select it, and that will put it up in the active engine list. So now I'm going to scroll up again, find engine number 5, which is UP, and now it's ready to run. To start it up, I just press the number 3, which is labeled startup. And that's it. This engine's ready to go. If I want to shut it down, I press number 6, which is labeled shut down. And that should shut it down. There are all sorts of other controls you can play with in your own time. These buttons up here act as the auxiliary buttons on the TMCC remote. There's a button where you can turn the smoke on and off. You can control the volume, the engine sounds, the headlight, pretty much anything you want.